Hi everyone, a huge welcome. Today I'll hopefully be telling you what happened or what's happening with Michelle and I. In the last video I end up talking about my friend George and a few other bits, TV and what have you. So today I'll do what I set out to do. This is one of those little personal diaries because Michelle and I aren't traveling at the moment, and I just thought I'd do a little diary and chat with you guys and see what you're up to and let you know what we're up to. We're in Australia. We left Thailand, as I said, and we're not traveling. One thing I would love to chat with you about is weight loss or putting on weight, and I think that's one of the things I wanted to talk about in the last video. What I think is, how do I address this? Somebody in the live stream a couple of weeks ago made a comment, and it was basically, Steve, who ate all the pies? And, I know the comment was meant to be sort of derogative and rude, but actually I kind of thank them for doing it, because I am aware that during the last couple of years we've gained a few pounds. I'm certainly not obese, so those sort of comments aren't really going to upset me greatly, but I want to thank that person for saying it, because when we did the John O'Groats to Land's End walk, which was 3 months of walking 2,000 kilometres, at the end both Michelle and I felt fairly fit, and certainly we'd lost quite a few pounds. But over the coming 2 years of this sort of COVID and the lockdowns and all the things that were going on, slowly I've been putting the weight back on. Started in Mexico with all that lovely rich food that we had in Mexico, and then that other trip that we took into Sri Lanka around Southeast Asia. So I certainly put on at least 10 kilos, which is about 20 pounds above what I really would prefer to be. And it's really hard when you're traveling to keep a check on your weight. Firstly, it's not always easy to weigh yourself, and secondly, you're always sort of in hotels and moving, Airbnbs and apartments. So what tends to happen is slowly you start putting on a few pounds, and for me it tends to go around the face and probably the chest and stomach. So I do recognise that that's happened over the last couple of years, but we've always known that when we eventually stop travelling, we'll try and sort of get that back in check, so to speak. And we are doing. I've actually, in the last week or 10 days, I've lost about 5 kilos, and I want to have a chat with you. I should say that I'm not a medical profession, and the things we're going to talk about in this episode, you shouldn't join us or continue on this adventure with us without checking with your medical profession, professional, GP, whatever. Anyway, you shouldn't be doing this without, you shouldn't be listening to me, basically. But we arrived back in Australia. I did a little live stream there, and I you don't really notice the weight you're putting on. I know I put a bit of weight on, but you don't really notice the weight you're putting on, particularly when it goes on very small increments over a period. And but I have been feeling less healthy, a little less. If I go walking, I feel tired more quickly. So I definitely, when I weighed myself when I got back here, I was at least 10 kilos above what my weight was before I set off, and even then I could have probably lost sort of 5 or 10 kilos. So let's say I'm 15 kilos above my weight comfort. So what do we do about it? We've been eating very carefully. We don't eat a lot of snacks, we don't eat a lot of treats, and even with eating very carefully, we're still finding that we're just maintaining. When you get to a certain age, you get over about, I think, your sort of mid to late 40s, and suddenly it doesn't matter what you eat. You can eat like a sparrow and you still keep either maintaining your weight or a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Once you get to a certain age, you start actually finding that your appetite is lower, but you still maintain your weight. And if you overeat, you will very easily, it's your metabolism changes, and it's very easy to put weight on. So we've been eating very carefully. We haven't eaten a lot of rubbish, biscuits and snacks and things, but it seems that we are just maintaining the overweight level that I am. So we need to do something about that. We thought about doing alternate day fasting, which we've done before, and there are many different types of alternate day fasting. What Michelle and I have decided to do is be a little radical. We're actually going to do alternate day, or we are doing alternate day fasting, but proper fasting. So not like what do they call it? A 6:18 or a 8:20? No, not 8:20. Can't be 8 and 20, so it must be 8:16. So we're not going to do one of those. We're actually going to we're fasting for an entire day, and then we'll eat whatever we want on the next day. And we've been doing this now for, I'd say, getting close to a couple of weeks, and I've certainly lost close to 5 kilos, and that's a little over 10 pounds, I believe. And I want to take you along that journey. So what I might do tomorrow, today is a fasting day for us. We're not eating anything at all. But I'll explain to you tomorrow why that is not necessarily true. If any of you are interested in really getting, what we want to do basically is get back to our weight in our 20s. And it's going to happen. Michelle and I are pretty steadfast. When we set out to do something like the joggle, we do it. So we've decided now is the time we're going to get back into shape, because we want the latter years, the sort of middle to sort of later years of our life, to be healthier. So if you're in that position and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I really would love to knock off the pounds that I've accumulated over the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, you might want to join us. Today we are fasting. We're not eating. I want to tell you a little bit more about that, but I don't want to make this particular episode too long. So that's what we're up to. In the next episode, and I'll probably put these up every second day, but in the next episode I'm going to chat with you is how we're achieving that, which cheats and which methods we're using and how we're finding it. So join me for that. What else? Little things. It's summertime in Australia, so the weather's nice. That's really good. It's good to be back in Australia when the weather's good. I really would love to get some feedback from everybody, whether they like this sort of video, whether they want me to continue to do this, and I would love to hear from you where you are at the moment with your weight, whether or not you feel that you've been dieting, or you've been changing your diet, or you've been ignoring it. I'd love to share that information down below. I kind of wish that maybe you could do that privately with me, so you don't have to say it out publicly. We'll work out a way over the next couple of weeks, maybe, that you can talk privately with Michelle and I about that. Michelle won't be appearing in these videos. She is operating all the camera and sound behind, but she won't be talking and getting involved with these, because this is really the way we want to take the channel. In the meantime, until the next episode, share your comments down below. Loved you all, and I will see you in the next episode. Put my teeth in the next episode, and there'll be very little cutting here, so you will see all the drivel and all the nonsense. In the last episode, occasionally when you see a little cut, it's probably just because I've hiccuped, belched, I don't know, or Michelle and I have talked about something that we don't want to include in the video. So yeah, they're going out pretty much as I am. I've got no notes. I probably should start making notes, and I'm not even sure what clothing I should wear for doing these sort of things, and whether let me know what you think about the actual setup. So we've got the desktop in, a little bit of light coming in from the window. Let me know, give me all your feedback. I want to know what you think. Love you all, take care, see you next time.